My Instagram Reels have been going mega viral over the past couple of months. And in this video, I'm gonna reveal my entire strategy. I've never told anyone this before. Look, I've been creating content for the past 3 years, and I've managed to build my YouTube channel to over 300,000 subscribers, Instagram to over 400,000 subscribers, and multiple hundreds of thousands on TikTok. If you type my name on Google, I've been featured on some of the biggest publications and podcasts in the industry. But recently, my short form has been popping off lately, gaining tens of millions of views every single month.
So maybe you're a business owner, maybe you want to become an influencer, or maybe you just want to make a little bit of extra money from some sponsors or affiliates in your content. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to take you through a full day of how I plan, create, and shoot all of my content for social media. I'm sure you'll gain some pretty crazy value from this video because I'm not just going to sit here and yap to you. I'm actually going to take you along for a full day of how I think about content and actually create it. Now, the craziest part about all of this is I only spend a few hours per month. It's a complete part-time job for me. And that's because I have good people that I trust, like Misha here. And also, my time management is pretty meticulous. You'll see. For example, the content we're gonna film in just this one day will probably give me like a month's worth of content on Instagram, TikTok, and even to repurpose on the YouTube channel. So with all that being said, let's get straight into it.
So what is your strategy with content?
Yeah, so right now, all we're basically doing is filming a bunch of random B-roll clips to use for short form. You see, about once a month, I like to come out with Misha or another videographer who's able to film me, and we go all around the city and just kind of do things that I would actually do in my day-to-day life. So right now, we're taking a little sunset stroll. Earlier, we were eating at a restaurant, and we're just capturing all of these raw and authentic moments. This type of content comes out great when you use it on short form platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Of course, you can play trendy music, you can add different captions, you can add voiceovers to it, and it's super versatile with what you can do. You can also use this content as B-roll for YouTube videos. Let's say if I'm talking about, how I like to structure my day, or I'm showing you a day in the life, we can just roll some clips that we filmed today, and we can even do this a month down the line on YouTube. Now, the whole point of short form for me is I use short form as strictly awareness. I'm trying to get as much views as possible on Instagram and TikTok, and then once people see the views and see, whoa, this guy's living a cool lifestyle, he's doing some cool stuff, I want to learn more about him, they'll click on the YouTube. And the YouTube is where I make life-changing content that actually provides value in people's lives like this right now. And this kind of content that I'm posting on YouTube to show an 18-year-old version of myself the light and all that's in front of him in this world if he picks a path, sticks to it, commits, learns from YouTubers like myself and the content that I'm putting out, and shows up every single day to take relentless action on creating his future, building his business, or upgrading his life as a whole.
So how much time do you usually spend on your personal brand?
People think that I do content full time because obviously we're growing a lot on Instagram, on YouTube, on these platforms, but the truth is I'm a part-time content creator and full-time entrepreneur. I've just done things very smart, so I'm able to make a ton of content. My output is very high with a very little amount of time and effort and sacrifice that I have to put into creating it. As you can see, right now, it's only been a few hours so far today, and we've made so much content already. One of those reasons is because I moved out here to Dubai. In Dubai, basically everything is content. I can step out for the day, shoot a few things on my phone, and these clips are gonna go viral for months to come. So one of the best things you can do is put yourself in an environment where there are tons of other content creators, where you easily have access to videographers, and where you have beautiful scenery around you to make amazing content in. The next thing is batch film your content. Throughout every month, I probably only spend 5 to 10 hours on my personal brand max. And I know that sounds crazy, but I can do this very efficiently by putting a couple hours per month into scripting a few solid YouTube videos. I like to make one YouTube video per week. And then when I sit down, it usually takes me anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to create it. A lot of people, they like to hard script every single thing that they're gonna say in their YouTube videos. I guess maybe because I've been doing this for a while, or maybe I was a little bit naturally gifted. Who knows? But I'm able to go off the top of my head on pretty much every single video. Most of my scripts are just shells. They're outlines, they have a few little bullet points, and everything else comes from the top of my head. The really important thing here when you're creating content is to pick a niche that you already have expertise in. Most of the videos on my YouTube channel are to do with entrepreneurship because That's what I do full time. So because I have all this information in my head, I'm actively reading, learning, taking in new information every single day. It makes it so easy for me to synthesize that and relay all the content to you guys. Also, whenever I do anything, when I build a new business, when I run a new dropshipping store, when I test a new product, I can easily turn that into a challenge video on YouTube. And these kinds of videos where I actually go and do something perform so much better than me simply just rambling off the top of my head. And of course, when I do make the videos where I just ramble off the top of my head, they do pretty well as well because I already have all of that value and knowledge to share. Before you even start content, or, I'm gonna take that back, do content always. It's always beneficial and valuable for you to record your journey, but make sure you're actively taking steps to become a valuable person that people wanna hear from. When you do those things, when you put in the work, it might seem like it goes unnoticed at first, but once you turn on the camera, all that information is gonna come to light and people are gonna see all the hard work that you've put in behind the scenes for years to be able to present the value and knowledge in every single video and make it look easy. So what I do is I usually sit down twice per month, maybe every 2 weeks, and record at least 2 YouTube videos per sitting. Now, outside of YouTube with short form content, like I said, it's very easy. People like Misha here always shooting me when I go out, when I do stuff in my daily life, and all of that content just gets saved to a Google Drive. And then I have some editors that I work with quite closely that take all the content and repurpose it for my accounts on short form. Now, obviously, it took a little while to get to this point where I figured out how all these systems work, but the key is to make a document, to make SOPs, just like you would in any other business, and write down exactly what you want to talk about. Write down what shots that you want to get, and then just make it come to life. For me, the different areas that I like to create content on are health, wealth, lifestyle, relationships, family. These concepts are so broad that I can record literally anything and my editors will be able to take it, put it into a good video that makes sense with the topic that people will want to see for motivational or inspirational purposes, and the short form clips will go viral. Usually about 1 time per month, I'll come out for 1 full day and shoot as much content as I can, like we're doing today, and that's all it takes to the strategy that we have that's allowing us to get millions and millions of views every single month on short form. Now look, obviously when you're first starting out, you don't have beautiful little creative directors to help you shoot content. You can't afford to pay videographers and move to a place like Dubai, but that's fine. That's your unique advantage. When I was first starting out, the one thing that I wish I would have done is recorded everything. Even just set up little videos of me time-lapsing in my parents' house working, because all this content would be used later on in my journey to show the contrast of how far that I've came. So my #1 recommendation easily is to just pick up the camera and just hit record. Because when you do that, even though you might not be gaining millions of views right now on the content, it's gonna come in handy later on down the line of your journey. Later on, when you've made more money, when you've made more videos, when you made tons of views, you can reflect back, you can show that old content of how it all started. And so that was my biggest regret. I did manage to shoot a few things, which maybe you guys have seen in my content already, of me 4 or 5 years ago, down bad, taking the bus, a couple dollars to my name, but simply just recording that to show, because I knew all this was possible. And that's the first thing that you have to have in your head, even when nobody else believes you. You have to have an unwavering belief in yourself to your core that you are worthy. You are worthy of whatever it is you want in life. Whatever dreams you have, you need to take hold of them, start today. And even if it takes 5 years like it did for me to come to fruition, hell, 10 years, 15 years, I have never seen a single person who has dedicated their life to becoming something, to becoming a content creator, a business owner, whatever it may be, and not hit their goal. But every single person who says, I'm just gonna give this thing a shot, I'm just gonna give it a go, I'm gonna give it a try, these people try for 3 months and go straight back to the life that they were living. So now it is your time to decide on what you wanna do with your life, and regardless of whatever direction you take it in, even if you wanna work a normal job, you wanna just be like everybody else, you should still pick up the camera, because the benefits from having a personal brand are insane, and we'll touch on those a little bit later as well. Also, look, one of the biggest things that you have to do when you start creating content is reject perfectionism, especially if you're doing it like me and it's all off the top of your head, which by the way, I recommend, because if you build those skills, you get better at speaking. It's not only gonna translate in better content, but it's gonna carry over to every other aspect of your life. When you're sitting at the dinner table with your potential wife's parents, you're gonna be able to communicate much better. When you're trying to get something out of somebody else, maybe it's in business, or maybe you're trying to book a reservation, again, speaking skills and communication come in handy. Sales and speaking are 2 skills that you'll use your entire life in pretty much every single industry. And by filming filming content, you're also building some of the most valuable skills that you'll carry over with you for the rest of your life. And so like I said, even if you don't have good places to film fancy, flashy lifestyle content, that's fine. You can film content in your parents' basement. As long as you pick up a little camera or even use your phone, all you want to do is record clips of you talking. Again, that's building your speaking skills, and also it's content that you're going to be able to use for years to come. On top of that, you don't need a massive personal brand. In fact, you don't need hundreds of thousands of followers. If you're able to communicate your message with even just a small amount of people that it resonates to, not only can you make money, but you can open up a lot of doors. You can reach all new kinds of people that you never thought were possible. You can gain access, you can network with many other like-minded individuals, and all you have to do is pick up that camera or iPhone and start creating content on whatever it is you're currently doing in life. By the way, Misha, for somebody starting out who doesn't know how to use a camera and just wants to get started with creating content, do you have any recommendations for them, as obviously you're a seasoned videographer?
I just need to start. If you really like this, if you're really happy with what you're doing, you should, use every time to get better what you're doing.
So kind of like continuous improvement and learning, and like, if you're somebody starting out, fall in love with the process of creating content, because that's how you're going to become your best. If you're not enjoying it at all, you probably won't succeed, right?
Yeah, you should enjoy what you're doing. Like when I start, I don't have a camera, I just have a phone. Just go with my iPhone and shoot the people, and then I make money and buy my camera because I really like this cinematography, videography, and that's why I also messaged Nathan.
Yeah, so one of the things, Misha, that you did for me, which was super valuable, and I always preach this in business, obviously Misha's doing this with videography and creative work. He reached out to me on Instagram. He's like, hey, I seen you're in Dubai, I'll come and shoot some stuff for you for free. That's extremely valuable when you're starting out, or even at any position. If you want to reach new levels and you want to reach new people, you want to work with them, or you want to shoot for them, Misha came to me, said, I will work for you for free. Let's go for a day of shooting. You can see my work. And Misha shot some incredible shots of me that have been gaining millions of views on short form since the last time we did a shoot. And so now we're going to work together more moving forward as we're out here in Dubai, because it's just the smartest thing to do. Now that I know and I trust somebody who can take great content, we're going to have a good relationship and keep shooting. That's all because Misha just sent me a message and said, hey, I'll come and work for you for 100% free. So final piece of advice, what would you say?
So it's not about the money, just start.
Eden, you make a lot of content on social media too. When you first started out, what did you do that allowed you to gain a lot of success, and what would you tell other people looking to start creating content?
I would say don't be embarrassed of what will people think about you, because there's every time this embarrassment to go out of your comfort zone and I kind of embarrassed to post this. I don't want them to unfollow me. I don't want them to think I'm weird. Screw that. Don't think about it. Just do it. Whoever wants to support you and be there for you and to like your content and give you love will do it, and who doesn't need to be there anyway. And even if you're losing a little bit at the beginning, you'll gain so much more in the future. People will love it, people will share. Stay consistent, it's the most important. I'm trying to tell this to myself as well, because it's hard to stay consistent. You should just post every day, plan your content, have a good eye for a clean shots. Don't just pose somewhere the most tourist wherever.
Try to be unique, try to be different.
Be unique and
also
also
be yourself, right?
Yeah, obviously be yourself, but what I was trying to say is have a clean shot and more aesthetic without a lot of people in the background. It's way better than just film in some crowded places. And yeah,
I love it. Guys, people will always talk People will always make fun of you. People will always laugh at you, joke of you. This happens no matter what. This happens when I started creating content. This happened when I started my first business when I was 18 years old. This happened in high school. People are always gonna be there to say things. It's their way of making themselves feel better for not taking any risk by putting you down. But you have to understand that this is part of the journey. The people who are the most successful in their craft, the best in the world in any industry, face the most hate. Look at someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. This guy, by all accounts, does everything right. And people, the media, everyone still tries to find an angle in a story where they can portray him as a bad guy in society. What I'm trying to say here is when you're starting out, people will make fun of you. People will make fun of you all the time. Learn to drown out that noise and just do what you have to do to get to the next level, or otherwise you're gonna live a life that's mundane, basic, boring. You're never gonna achieve what you truly want. The only way to do so, drown everybody else the out and elevate.
Yeah, and at first they'll laugh at you, but then they'll ask you, whoa, how did you do that? I want to do that too.
So who were the key people you hired that helped bring everything to life?
I've made a lot of mistakes over the past couple of years in terms of hiring for my personal brand and growing obviously the content system. I think the first person that you need to buy back your time and allow your content output to increase and gain more views is some form of an editor. So if you're focusing on short form content first, you need a killer short form editor. Same thing with YouTube. You need a killer long form editor. If you can find somebody who can do both, that's even better, and they can run your entire personal brand for you. You send them the content, you tell them the vision, you explain to them exactly what you're thinking. In some cases, you even help out with the editing. But bottom line, editing is the most tedious task, and if you can hire an editor as quickly as possible, you'll save so much time and be able to make so much more content. Once you have a solid editor in place, if you're starting to make good money off of the content and you want to expand even further, the next person that you should hire should be a creative director or some form of manager. This person can basically manage all the different social media accounts that you have, make posts on your behalf, communicate directly with the editor, provide revisions, and provide support. Also help you come up with ideas, brainstorming, coming up with titles, thumbnails, concepts, and all that good stuff. Obviously for YouTube, you'll want to have a thumbnail editor, the main editor, and then a creative director eventually. And for short form, it is nice to have that creative director in as well. To be honest, I like to do a lot of this stuff myself, and because I've got quite good at it, it doesn't take too long for me to write down all my ideas, come up with scripts for both YouTube and short form. But obviously, Eden, my girlfriend, helps me out a ton with the creative direction. In fact, she's out here filming me most of the time when we don't have a videographer with us. And then on top of that, she's always helping me come up with new ideas and new ways to grow the short form and the long form. So boys, if you have a girlfriend, she can be an extremely valuable asset if she knows how to work a camera, and she can help you out with the content.
Yeah, right here.
But honestly, don't overcomplicate things. In the beginning, do everything yourself. And the first person you want to hire is an amazing editor that you can work side by side with, who's aligned with your mission to grow your personal brand. And that's it. So another massive lesson is that literally everything is content. You see, when you're going on this personal branding journey, you have to realize that even you just walking through the mall and random Tuesday night is content. And once you start baking that into your everyday life, all the content will just come together. Your editors will have thousands of pieces to work with, and who knows, maybe this clip can be used for something and you guys will see it soon on my Instagram with millions of views. So as important as it is to plan and script and be super thoughtful with your content, at the same time, remember, just pick up the goddamn camera and hit record. Regardless of what you're doing, just talk shit into the lens. One, it'll improve your ability to create content, and two, you never know how these clips can come in handy. All right guys, I'm back at home now after a pretty wild day of pretty much shooting from about 12 o'clock till 10 p.m. So a solid 10 hours. And look, in these 10 hours, I guarantee you that I probably filmed 500 Instagram reels, as crazy as that sounds. It's true, because you guys are gonna see over the next month, 2 months, and probably well into the future, some of the clips that we shot today in some of the same locations will be used on my short form accounts. And on top of that, I shot this entire YouTube video. I also shot B-roll that's going to be used inside of YouTube videos to come. And so look, people always ask me, how are you able to build a personal brand and have, such crazy output and do all this stuff while still running multiple companies? And, most of my time is actually behind the computer at home. I'm extremely introverted. And as funny as that sounds, if you take a look at my Instagram, if you take a look at my short form, you'll be like, no, this guy's an extrovert. He's always out, he's hanging out, he's doing cool shit. But the truth is, that's not the case. Right now, it's like me and my girlfriend, we just sit at home, we work, and then maybe like once a week we'll go out. And then when we're shooting, we're shooting. And look, we're shooting all day, as you guys saw. But I hope you guys found a lot of value in me taking you through my entire process. And one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you guys is to remain true to yourself, create content on what you want to create content in. There's a million ways to monetize when you have a personal brand. Some of the things that it's done for me is, one, it's opened up a lot of doors. I've met a lot of high value people that have shown me opportunities, that have shown me the light in different spaces from simply posting. I've met mentors, I've met business partners, I've met friends, I've met, connections that help me out with investing and putting my money in different places and moving to Dubai and all this crazy stuff from simply posting. On top of that, I used to run a mentorship, so we made $1 million in info product sales in a very short period of time. I've also done multiple millions of dollars with affiliate marketing, so promoting Shopify, promoting TikTok, promoting companies that you guys need. And I'm offering solutions. It's the biggest win-win-win situation when you create content. I get to get paid for bringing in clients to new businesses. You guys get exclusive deals and unique discounts and offers you wouldn't get anywhere else, on top of all the free value. And these companies get long-term clients, and clients that are actually there to stick. Clients that aren't just in one day and out the other because they watch my content. They hear what I have to say. You guys are very, very warm clients for companies like Shopify. And one day when you guys go on to have that successful multi-million-dollar business, Shopify is going to make a lot of money on you. You know, as an example with Shopify, they make a lot of their money on the payment processing. And so if you go on to build a massive business one day from watching my content, from using the sponsors and offers, affiliates I provide to you guys, then one day you're going to put a lot of money in Shopify's pocket as well. So it's crazy how this comes full circle. It's a win-win-win situation for everybody. I promise you guys, you'll be able to create those situations for yourself in any niche if you just pick up the camera and start today. Another massively important thing is be authentically yourself, okay? I've spent too much time with my personal brand over the past couple years trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm picking somebody, you know, the biggest guy in the space. I'm seeing how is he making his YouTube videos, what's his story, and trying to emulate all of it. If you know our space, you know the biggest like online business guy on YouTube right now is Ecom. And he dresses a certain way, his persona is a certain way, but you need to be the hero in your own story because nobody's gonna be Ecom better than Ecom's gonna be Ecom himself, if that makes sense. And there's an advantage for you in that too. When you finally realize this and realize that nobody can do you better than you can do you, then all you have to do is create that content and the audience will come over time, I promise you. And who knows, maybe one day your platform will even be bigger than mine or even somebody like Ecom because people might start to resonate with you and your unique story. So just because you see this London old money posh guy on your feed doesn't mean you have to fit into that box to have the same kind of growth. You know, I come from a middle-class family in Canada. I'm new money. I own the fact that I'm new money. I don't go out and try to copy somebody else's style and buy Laurel Pianas like every other entrepreneur in the online space right now. I'm me. And I think ever since I really just decided with content, I'm me and that's it, I've started to see a huge amount of growth and a huge amount of loyal fans and loyal subscribers, followers from just being down to earth, genuine, raw, and authentic in everything that I'm creating. And if you guys can skip that phase of trying to be somebody that you're not, you're gonna actually experience tremendous growth in the long run, I promise you. Think about it. If you're trying to be somebody else, you're wearing a mask. That mask, to wear it all day, every day, gets extremely exhausting, which means you can probably only do it for a couple hours a day. Let's say you want to be like Andrew Tate. You want to talk the shit he talks. You want to sit there. You want to let your mouth fly on podcasts. That is going to drain you. It's possible. Hire a speaking coach. Look at the way that he talks. Emulate his flow, his rhythm. But you're going to be exhausted because that's not you. He sits there and he creates tons of output because he's uniquely being himself. And it's so easy for him to do so. So as soon as you can start becoming true to yourself to the core whenever the camera's on, that's when the content's gonna come easy. You're gonna love what you do. It's gonna feel less like work and more like having fun and the reason why you probably started content in the first place. So if you can skip ahead the trials and tribulations that I've faced in learning that over the past 2-3 years and many other creators, I promise you you'll be so much better off for it. So yeah guys, we're going into 2025. Building a personal brand is one of the smartest moves that you can make for yourself, I promise you, and it's gonna be extremely rewarding in so many different ways. And yes, it might take a couple of years, but if you start now, if you start today, it doesn't have to be so difficult. A couple hours a week, a couple hours a month, compounded over 5 years is all it takes to have a massive audience. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this style of content. Let me know what you thought about the video down below in the comments. And if you want me to take you along for a day, how I did today, in more videos moving forward. So that's all for me. I'll see you guys in a few days. Peace.